Y'all, so with this number one word, I have not ever said it in one of these types of videos. I've done this video before a few times, and now we're back with it. What do y'all think this number one word? Before I tell you, of course, that women just cannot stand, or it makes them really get into the thinking, and it has so much power over them, and it starts making them feel like, wow, what? Now let me just give you a quick idea of this word. When a woman is like throwing a tantrum or she wants her way, this is a great time to use this word, because you're trying to show to her like you basically do not care. She wants to act that way. It's basically saying save it. Save it for somebody else. Save it for a different day. I'm not tolerating it. Let me give you another great example. Another one can be if you are basically not trusting her as much, or you just kind of don't want to like show any submission, of course, as a man, and you're basically like leading and she's trying to make it be about something else. This is a time that you throw in this word, because you're trying to show to her, hey, you know what? Like, this is what it is, basically. And also, when you use this word, it's also a time for her to understand like whatever she's trying to explain to you or trying to get over you. So let's say if it's excuses, trying to make up lies, or trying to get you to understand why you need to forgive her, and you're just not hearing it, this is a time to use it. Now, y'all, I know a lot of y'all probably would say no. Comment it down below, because I'm literally about to say the word, but I feel like a lot of y'all will say no, especially if you watch my other videos. And one day I'll talk more about the no word, because no is obviously a strong word to use too. A lot of women don't hear that, they're not used to it, but that's not the word of the video. So what other words have y'all thought of? And also, I'll tell you this now, since I don't have to interrupt or bring it up later, but don't forget about consultations. It is about anything that you're going through, or even how to handle this woman, especially with particular situations where you obviously need specific advice for your circumstances. And so with consultations, you can go ahead and book it by clicking the link down below. There's different options. And of course, just know that I'm here to hear you. It's about you, and it's also about getting real results, making things happen and work in your favor. And one thing I've loved so much about consultations, like I feel like a lot of y'all start understanding how much power you have, or how much things that you can do. And just because your feelings gone in the way, or just because things haven't gone your way with her, it's not over that way, or it doesn't mean you can't go about a different direction. I never want y'all to get in your feelings too much, and I don't want you to be attached when there's so much more to you and who you are in general. And I actually, this is straight up, like I want y'all to always know your worth and know that it's already there. Sometimes it's just about knowing how to move forward. And sometimes it's just about, okay, I got kind of confused in the process, or I let her get to me, or I let life get to me, right? In other areas of like slacking off, but your bounce back is the best thing. That's the key thing. Doesn't matter how things went. If you've fallen off in areas, or dating hasn't been going good, or your finances, it's always your comeback. It's always the process, and then getting your reward. But the process is so fulfilling. Okay, so that being said, there's other options besides consultations that can definitely help you. I have my no contact guide and journal on sale, and a few other things too. And don't forget Mindset Mastery. That would definitely change your mind if you're serious about getting to that aspect of changing your mind, of course. And then for all my new people, consultations, yes, but also Patreon you can join for free. And when you join for free, you definitely can go ahead and become a member that gets exclusive content. You get one at least a month, and sometimes I give more, and there is a community there. So join for free if you like. And there's also 250 plus content already on there. And of course, I have more than one Patreon, and there's YouTube memberships. So choose what's going to be best for you. Now back to the word. I'm sorry to make y'all wait, but it only made sense that I say it now, so I can go ahead and explain with no interruption. And that word is so. Now, so is so powerful, because let me go back to these examples I gave you. Hey, baby, why can't we go out tonight? I know that we went out yesterday, but yesterday was Friday and today's Saturday, and I want to do something. Like, you need to take me out, and I don't feel like staying home. This is where you hit her with the so. And so is just kind of like that, let's say, entry to the finisher of the rest of the stuff that you would need to say. So for you would be like, so what do you want me to do about it? She's obviously gonna maybe feel like you're being sarcastic or you're being inconsiderate, who cares kind of thing, because you just took her out. You already told her. Most likely too, when you're using so, it's because you are having to re-say something, so you have to re-explain or go over something that has already been clear probably. So this is why so is not actually inconsiderate or rude or disrespectful. In some cases people can use it this way, because if she also says like like you said you owe me this, whatever it is, like a date night, maybe you never take her out or you promised her something and then you do decide to say so, as like, okay, forget about my promise, that would be pretty harsh, right? And let me just give you this other way of looking at it. If let's say she did mess up, right, or she did something wrong, or she couldn't keep her promise, and then she brings up what you gotta do, of course that could apply to double standards. However, that would be a good time to be using so, because now she's trying to make it be about, oh, okay, I don't got to, but you better, or you have to. And now it's about, okay, well, so if I promised it because you can't keep yours, sort of stuff. And then let me go back to what I was saying in the beginning. It's more about using it in obviously an appropriate way. You want it to be appropriate, because if it's in an inappropriate way, not in an appropriate way, I don't want the audio to pick up and say, I don't want y'all to hear inappropriate, but in a in space a. So if it's in a appropriate way, it should look like you're using it when you're kind of like over it, or you don't want to explain yourself or re-explain yourself, sort of stuff. And then you also have to remember, a woman's gonna start feeling like, dang, this is how he's gonna be, I can't get my way. Because if we go over some of what I've spoken about in my other videos, I've talked a lot about how women have entitlement issues and expectations are super high and standards are extremely high, and they live in like this delusional world of like, oh, you got to, you have to, or why not. And also the emotional aspect of females, they definitely can become very childlike. And I say childlike in the aspect of not necessarily childish, just required, right? Because if you think about children, when they do want something, and they really do, they can go into like, nagging and throwing a tantrum and crying about it, whether it's actually literally or not. So that kind of applies to a female that wants to get her way and she's upset about things. Now, let's just say if she has a lot of emotional control, emotional intelligence, and all that sorts of stuff, you might not see her react so much when you say so, but it could still impact her because she doesn't want to hear that. A so is basically saying no, and a so is also a dismissal of what she is trying to feel like needs to be validated or justified. That's how I could sum it all up. So shout out to you for watching until the end, if you did, and thank you so much. Of course, don't forget about the links that are down below. I love y'all, and take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to y'all very much soon. Bye, y'all.